is log. This is... Oh, it won't let me switch once I'm rolling. That's okay, though.
That's okay.
So right now I have the histogram right dead in the middle. And I have our faces in decent exposure. It's not like ideal.
Did you just say indecent exposure?
Indecent. You're right, I did. Then...
We're sitting on a park bench
But the sky looks good, though, too.
It does.
In log. So I'm right there in the histogram.
Yeah, you're good.
So we'll try that, even though our faces might be a little dark. So this is the first. So GH5, 4K, 60. I'm doing 60 is kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
I've always, I'm kind of from I span this weird gap of like shooting 24p in video. Mm-hmm. Having the DVX100 the first time doing that was like blow your mind. So we always wanted
true 24.
Well, that was almost true 24. I mean, you could do a pull down after the fact.
Okay.
But it was like, it's like the guys who went from shooting video cameras to DSLRs when they first started filmmaking. It was like, depth of field was like amazing to them. So they always shot everything crushed. Me, I used to shoot everything 24 just because I could. But now I'm kind of back to, especially stuff like this where it's live.
Yeah.
Well, not live, but
we want to be silky smooth.
Real life. 60 is awesome. I used to think 60 was kind of dumb because I guess it was always incorporated into like interlace because that's how the NFL channel was 60i forever because it was sports.
That's true.
Now it's 60p, which is...
It's true. So we're hoping that you're not viewing this on a Commodore 64 because it won't make any difference.
It won't make any difference.
I don't know what I heard the other day that someone made a reference to Commodore 64. Do you know what a Commodore 64 was?
Oh yeah, it's that computer. Did you have? I kind of had one. I had one that was when they were old and crazy old. The school was selling them for $2 a piece. And
$2 a piece.
Yeah, and
or tax dollars.
You're talking about the computer, not the gaming system, right?
I don't know what I'm talking about. I just remember the Commodore 64 was out of my grasp as a child.
Hold on. I might be talking about a gaming system versus a computer, because one was a computer, one was a Commodore computer,
right? And
then there was also the gaming system. I think they're a Commodore gaming system. I wasn't allowed to have a Nintendo as a kid.
It was just an old computer. It was like the computer was inside the keyboard.
Yeah, it was all okay. This one's maybe I had a Commodore or something. It had a green monitor. It was all one piece. It was probably an educational version or something. Anyway, I bought it from the grade school for $2, and I used to program BASIC on it.
Ooh, BASIC!
I remember as a kid because I sit there and watch the Olympics. I'd watch the Winter Olympics, programming BASIC games. Like input equals this, if this, go to here, and I'd make all these fun text games, but you couldn't save anything.
You didn't have a floppy drive?
No. As soon as you turn the computer off, it would disappear.
Gone. Yeah.
Here we are at a park.
We're in beautiful...
We have another couple minutes before we got to go pick up the kids from karate. Your kids are...
Red belts.
Red belts. My kids are white belts. So your kids can beat up my kids.
But they've been taught...
Not to.
That fighting is the last resort.
And my kids have not figured that out yet. They're still punching each other at home.
Really?
Because they're white belts.
There's no... My kids don't do that, but I do have usually one... They have this thing where they start picking on each other. And then that's why I go out to my garage and edit. That's what I do.
Oh, okay. So anyway, we figured this is kind of impromptu. You're out of town next couple days or next week or whatever.
Next week, yeah.
You're shooting because we were supposed to have a call with Black Magic today. And it didn't happen because they kept misscheduling. Oh, okay. So if you haven't noticed, our Black Magic with video got all kinds of grief.
Yes.
Because we were wrong about the SSD recording module. The SDI is not a pass-through.
No.
There's one slot, and we haven't figured out the details yet. So we were supposed to have a call with them. They were super nice to talk to us, or they somehow found my number shouldn't be that hard to find.
They tracked us down because we said
down.
Some stuff that apparently was incorrect.
Not intentionally.
Not intentionally. We weren't trying to be.
And then also apparently the micro camera doesn't shoot 4K. I got that information wrong somehow. I got that from another YouTube video, actually. What else were we wrong about? We were like wrong across the board, apparently.
I think I might have also talked about the LCD and the rollout of people that are having screen burn-in, how that was, because I just went off what the guy told me, and he said that they are in the works of fixing that issue. Because like magically, I don't know if I've talked about my issues with my Blackmagic, but they've all gone away for the most part, except for the screen burn-in. So my camera's working perfectly. Your camera, so we both own Blackmagics.
My camera's back, and it's well, actually, I haven't tested the sound yet, so I'm assuming it's fine.
Yeah,
but it's back. Should be happy. So we're back at it.
We're back at it.
So anyway, that was the call got delayed, so we'll see if that's going to happen anytime soon. But we're going to talk to Blackmagic about all the stuff that they've kind of been doing lately.
We'll get the facts straight out of the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
So.
And then, we were trying to figure out what to talk about. And,
yeah, all the cameras have been announced. All the goodies are out.
Because it's all kind of the same, well, you could say I'm working on cart, figuring out a good, maybe like a custom, I'm doing a bunch of different cart situations, switching it up.
For the new truck.
Another truck, building that out, and getting some other grip gear, but that's all kind of old news.
But I mean, it's still exciting.
I was doing all kinds of. I redid the van today. I actually was gonna
do a video on it. You need to post some pictures.
And I forgot to because I got mixed up. I ended up having to do I fixed the delivery on a commercial. But
what I want
to talk about is Instagram, because I am the worst Instagrammer, and apparently you are. Look, you can see I got actual. I put like temporary plastic shelves in the van a couple years ago, and
they just kind of stayed
temporary
for.
And these are semi-permanent now. They're still on wheels and just strapped down, so you can pull them out if you need to. If you want to put something big in there, I didn't bolt anything down; it's all strapped, which is cool. But now I can actually.
Right.
I got to see about the ramp though. The ramp situation's not perfect yet. Instagram.
So
you're kind of an Instagram guru, I would think.
I'm not a guru. Once I got over like the 2,000 mark on my followers, I felt like I was doing something right. I still haven't figured it out, but I feel like it's definitely my platform that works with my style.
So, neither of us have copious amounts of follow. Like YouTube is only about 4,300, and my Instagram is maybe a couple hundred, maybe. But I would like to build it more.
Right. Yeah, I mean, my Instagram started out not knowing what I was doing, and it took like 2 years to kind of, and that was before I was a full-time freelance guy anyways. I was just doing it,
trying to keep my posture nice.
My hobby. Yeah, I'm trying to keep my posture.
I know it's all the last couple of tutorial videos. I'm starting to look like I'm gaining weight again.
I am gaining weight.
Well, yeah, me too, but
I mean, it's known
It's
fact.
Summertime, we're going to fix that.
I mean, that last crafty you had at the green.
That was some good crafty.
Some good, still leftovers.
Okay, so when I've done a couple of Instagram trainings, like watched them. Some crazy successful people, and it looks like a lot of freaking work. Like what they do, as far as like they post something and then they tag it and then they delete the tags half an hour later and tag it more and do all that stuff, and it's like
yeah. So like I would say the thing that I like most about Instagram, the way it works for me, is I like the fact that for the most part I can use my time instead of Facebook in engaging with people, and I get results. So I don't have to pay for people to see my posts. It's very organic that way. And then I also like that on Instagram, it is work though. Like Instagram works with like my style, but at the same time it is work. I probably spend at least an hour, maybe 2 hours sometimes every day, either planning a post or going through and interacting with followers and trying to find target audience people and interacting with them on stuff that they've posted and making. That's the thing I think is on Instagram, if you interact with people and take that time, then you do get, I think you get, it's kind of like spending money. You get those people.
It's kind of a return on your investment.
Yeah, return on your investment, yeah.
Let me ask you this, so what do you use it for? Because for me, I mean, I know what I like I get on there and I get inspired or I get mad because I'm like, I'm never gonna be as good as these people.
Right.
But I'll post something and I feel like if you tag it the right way, it's kind of like instant gratification, which is, for me, the way I've been using it is kind of useless, pointless, because I don't really have a goal.
Right.
So like you're saying, interacting with people, target audience, how do you use it as a tool?
So the way I use it for two things. I show that I have the ability to capture interesting content in lots of different lighting varieties with different looks. So I break all the Instagram rules about having a look.
So you're across the board. You do all kinds of stuff.
I do all kinds of stuff, which is not what most people tell you to do. Lots of really successful people have like a look. They have a color scheme. They have a feel. Mine, I'm trying to show directors and people that might hire me that Jared has a very diverse way of lighting situations, that he can make a lot of different situations look interesting and good. And then every once in a while I'll throw kind of cool looking, interesting, like gearhead type shots, which are always popular. And then really I'm just trying to legitimize myself, like, hey, if we were to give Jared a camera, or hey, we want it to look this certain way, we can see that he's been able to pull that off in other situations.
So it's kind of like a portfolio stream.
Yeah.
And it's easier to be found than, say, Facebook, because there's no permission needed to look at your stuff. Speaking of putting up something that looks good, we're in and out of crazy shadow and sunlight, and this isn't like the most ideal look for us, because we're only here because it was a perfect distance for the shotgun mic.
Yeah, we didn't really have.
There's a table here, the camera's on. We're sitting close to it, so we should really be about this close so you can hear us. But anyway,
and there's a river.
There's a river over there.
You can hear the river.
The sun's over there. So anyway, this was not on purpose. I mean, it was on purpose, but it was the best we could do. So, okay, so have people found you then? Seen your stuff and said, hey, I want you to... I've had one person call me off of YouTube.
Okay, so usually what happens is, and I'll be perfectly honest, I don't get a lot of interaction, like people trying to hire me off Instagram. What I get is, if I apply for a job, either through a website or Craigslist, project. Right.
And I mean, it's a job too. Sometimes applying for a job sounds very specific to trying to get a job.
Right. So like I put in for like a DP job.
Like bid on something.
I bid on something, and it's someone I've never worked with. I have probably secured 60% of those that they've actually told me, hey, I looked at your Instagram and I feel comfortable hiring you because I know you can get the look I want.
So instead of sending like a reel, which you'd have to update, because I do that quite a bit. I'll send samples of pieces and or reels and web pages, but those you have to sit there and manually update, whereas you're continually having a constant stream of new and fresh content.
And I hope that like people could go like way back and see that like I'm continually progressing. I'm not stuck with one look. And that's why it's probably hurt me with the amount of followers that I have, but at the same time I'm able to show people that, given any situation, I can make things look good, cinematic, whatever, for commercials, light and airy. I'm someone that really I love blacks, I love contrast. But at the same time, so sometimes I really had to put myself out of my comfort zone to put an image out there or a video on Instagram. It's not my look, but I've been able to. So that's hard, and sometimes
is it still a minute limit on Instagram right now?
Still a minute limit, which for the most part, I think that's plenty to show something. But I'll be honest, video interaction for me has not been great. I stick to photos for the most part.
I noticed that our shutter is at 40, 50. There we go. Okay.
Were you shooting at 60p though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it should be 60, if not 50, before 60. There we go.
We're good.
Okay, so you do a mix, you do a mix of. I can never decide if doing behind the scenes photos, or sometimes I like to throw up a frame grab of the shot, but then it feels so ingenuine, but at the same time it's fun to show a frame of the actual project you're working on. It turned out so nice.
I do all of it. So if there's a screen, especially, I really try hard. Sometimes there's stuff that people are working on. I try really hard to show stuff that, if I'm not behind the camera that day, but I'm on a really cool set, I'm going to show the set. if I'm the one behind the camera, so I'm the actual operator, and I see like something that I got to record, then sometimes I'll shoot for something that I screen grab. So it just depends on the situation. If I'm a sound guy and I'm on a cool set, you might want to follow my stories. My stories, I love stories.
Conversation.
Yeah, stories, I love those.
I love stories. I never remember doing them.
Yeah. And here's what I do is I save all my stories. So I'm going to try like start taking all those story bits and trying to edit them into little mini vlogs, because that would be...
Are you going to stick them on YouTube?
Yeah, why not?
What's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel...
If you guys haven't subscribed to Jared's personal channel, you should, because it's way cooler than this channel.
It's not cool.
It's way more fun. It looks way better. Mine's more like, there's a light, there's a light. You do cool things on yours.
I drink Diet Coke and burp on my channel.
I like the mic test last time. Or the fidget spinner.
The fidget spinner, that was pretty impromptu, but...
I love it too, how you totally lied on that one.
What did I lie about?
You said, my editing's done.
Oh, yeah.
Editing's never done.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, here's the thing is I have a few production companies and good friends of mine that hire me for editing, and they watch my stuff, and so...
Oh, you're like,
I was
I'm done.
I'm totally caught up, because that's why I'm fooling around in the studio today and not editing your stuff.
It was a camera test.
It was a camera test, for sure. So, yeah, Instagram stories are really fun. I like those.
Now, have you seen any kind of, like, viewership different, like... Okay, so is there anything about I mean, you can get crazy, the technicality about tagging and when to post. I mean, does that really matter for what you're doing, or is it just you want to get it out there just so there's people experiencing your content and then you can have a dialogue with other people?
I'll be honest, I have like 2 or 3 secret sauce 30 tags that like I consistently put at the bottom. I do not go in and re-tag. I've never had success with that. So I go in, tag it with my 30 things that like I figured out that are my target audience. I do well with that. And then I actually use stories a lot to point people to my new posts. So there may be people that don't always get to see my posts, but they follow my stories. And so I will say, hey, I put a new post up, give it some love on my stories, like maybe a teaser, like screenshot of the post itself. And so sometimes I'll get better, and it's always weird. I don't have like a secret sauce because there's sometimes when I post really cool gear pics that I'm like really proud of, and I'll get like way low. I mean, right now
I hate that when you're like, this is gonna be the best.
Yeah,
and post it, nobody cares.
I mean, I remember posting a FS7 with a Zeiss ZP2 in front of like some weeds. And it got like 500 likes, and then I took this like crazy studio shot and it got like 250 likes. So I don't know how that works, but I enjoy Instagram. It's kind of like where a lot of time, we're daily grinding in the edit bay, and that's kind of like my outlet where I can take like a half an hour and go do something on Instagram and come back.
See, and that's where I always forget to do something on Instagram, because it's always just like, I have this really, I don't know if it borders on obsessive compulsive or what, but it's like I want to be able to work on something and then move on to the next thing.
Right.
Which is weird, because I actually multitask really well in the edit suite and on set, but it's like trying to remember to shoot a time lapse as well as shooting the actual project or doing a story.
Right.
Remembering to do a story. And when you do it, yeah, it's like super fun and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I did that. But for me, it's always like, oh, it's been a 12-hour day and I've done nothing besides...
I mean, and honestly, though, on a lot of your sets, you're producing and DPing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where I'm like maybe gaffing sound, I have the time on a set, I mean, that's...
Now, your stories... So, okay, let me ask our viewers a question.
Yes.
Is it off-putting or is it more attractive to mix in, like, real life with the stories? Because... I think it's maybe like an 80-20 or something like that, because it's fun to watch. If you're a gearhead, you like to hang out with guys who do gear stuff.
Right.
But then it's also fun to see, oh, wait, they've got 4 kids or they've got a dog or whatever, because sometimes whether you know it or like it or not, you're comparing yourself to them going like, especially if they're talented, you're like, okay, how could I measure up to that and do better at what I'm doing?
Right.
It's, so you get a little taste of the personal life, which gives you a better insight about maybe where they're getting their inspiration from or something.
Yeah, I mean, I use my stories to be goofy and not as serious, and I try and like, there's a certain level of professionalism and quality I like my actual posts to be. My wife gets so mad at me that I never post, and I just told her, listen, my Instagram is my business page, it's not my family page, so maybe at some point I need to start another new Instagram has like my family stuff in it, which I have not done. I use Facebook for that. But on stories, I definitely think you should do like real life, goofing off, being yourself, and I enjoy when I watch other people that I really admire and I watch their stories and they are goofing off and they're a real person. I'm like, so I actually think that's a better, even like, you know.
Is there any way to up your story viewership? Because you can't tag stories. It's only people who already are following you.
Yeah,
I
don't know. I think you just have to do.
Because I get maybe like 5 people watching my stories.
Yeah, let me look at like the last story I did.
I wish there was like a YouTube version of stories, even though it is kind of its own thing. And you kind of can, but it's like, for this channel, I don't want to mix in but I was doing a daily vlog kind of thing for a little while to try it out and tell some stories, and I enjoyed it, but I felt like it diluted a lot of what the channel could potentially be. Some people liked it. I have no idea if other people didn't like it, other than the fact that I felt like, half the time I was like, well, here I am, what do you want me to do? And so I kind of wish there was like a way to have like a sub-channel on YouTube that was stories. You could just do quick little, 20-second vignettes about what's going on, so you have to sit down and actually produce a whole video, or go like live, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm trying to save those Instagram stories to my phone, so like I can go back and maybe pluck those out. And I don't know. I mean I am kind of weird with my stories. Like if there's a day where I'm sitting in the edit bay like nonstop, like I won't do a story that day. If I'm on set, I always try and do. So I kind of like it, make it so people see that I'm doing something on my stories. They know, oh, Jared must be on set today because he's doing stories today. So I kind of have done that.
It was nice when I was doing the daily stuff to kind of use it as an excuse to do something.
Correct.
It's like, I've been sitting in here, I know that, the client's waiting for it, but just for my own sanity / something interesting to look at, I want to
go shoot something.
Do something. Maybe that's my goal. So maybe I'll try and do some more story-ish things, because I think it helps too. If you get out of the same routine,
the grind,
yeah, it really helps with your inspiration, your creativity, all that jazz.
Yeah, and you feel like, and I think you learn stuff too. You learn about like, hey, that didn't work. And so, but you might figure out while you're messing around how to make it work. And then you might have a client say, hey, I'm trying to go for this look. And you're like, hey, I've already experimented with something like that. I think I can make it look good. Be confident, I don't know. Or you can just drink Diet Coke in the garage all day like me. And How
can you drink Diet Coke?
Dude,
it just tastes so nasty.
Did you see my story today where I had a garbage can full of Diet Coke, and my comment was, I wonder if there's a AA group or what is it? AA group for Diet Coke, and if there's not one, maybe I should be the one to start one, because it was like chock full of Diet Coke cans.
I could drink Dr. Pepper all day, but diet anything.
It's a total emotional thing, and I've accepted it. And I don't plan on stopping.
Actually, I've become reliant on those Mio waters, which is definitely just putting chemicals in your body. But yeah, water tastes good with that. Okay.
All right.
So Instagram. You're gonna be gone next week doing stuff, or at least this week. When are you back from your?
So we leave Thursday night for California. I'm on set 2 days this week, and then I get back. I think we're gonna get back Tuesday. I think we're gonna come back Tuesday, and then I might be leaving again the next week. So when I travel, I always feel like now that I have the S8,
a real phone again,
I can take some decent pictures.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna drag the Ursa with me to California, because
I would. You driving?
I'm driving.
All right, I'm gonna try and commit to doing some stories this week, and
I'm gonna hold you to it.
That's what I need, some accountability, and I would hold you to something, but I can't think of anything.
You can hold me to be a little bit more serious and maybe get some freaking edits finished.
Yeah, it might be good.
I'm trying to work on this pageant one.
We need to talk about that next time when those get or not the pageant, but we did that grip shenanigans, whatever it was, with the wedding dresses.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
an interesting shoot. We need to talk about that when that goes live.
Yes. So that actually, I just got the color samples. We're gonna start coloring that stuff. So as soon as it goes live, we will, because it was a really cool shoot. We were doing grip lighting, and we had no grips. We had you were ACing, and we were both gripping when we should have had like 3 other guys helping us move boards around.
Technically,
what
we were gripping, and I just AC'd because they had nobody to do it.
That's true. So
we wanted to go home.
We were both, yeah. We just wanted to get done on time.
But it good. Everything looked good though. It looked good.
It did.
So. But yeah, not very often that you do 100% grip lighting all day long. At least I don't usually. Usually I bust a few lamps out, some larger stuff, just to kind of
have some consistency.
Compete with the sun, yeah. But it still looked really good. Everything looked good. But I took some time lapse and some shots of the garden, so we'll just talk about what we did.
Yeah. So watch that one. And again, if you made it to the end of this video, we thank you.
You have way more patience than I do.
Hopefully you're on the treadmill and you're like, as soon as these guys stop talking, I will have gone 5 miles.
Speaking of treadmill, I got a whole bunch of kickboxing to do tonight. Or am I lifting? I can't remember. I had my wife. She's in charge of that.
I will have my wife do an Instagram story of me trying to do 3 pull-ups tonight.
That was the other thing. Is last year, 3 pull-ups?
Yeah, dude, I used to be at 10, and I've lost it. I've lost it all.
It was always, I was either like shooting or working out, which are some of my like 2 favorite things. I mean, you could, anyway. So it was always like story or YouTube video of me in a tank top. Like, I just got off the treadmill. Everyone's like, we're tired of hearing you say that. That's all I was doing. Or like cutting. It was like, that was the only thing. So anyway, all right, kids, they probably are done beating each other up.
Yeah, let's go pick up the kids.
Should I do a story of that? No, that's not very interesting. I mean, it's interesting. My kids are hilarious, but
they are hilarious.
But maybe we'll ease into it with some. I need to talk about the Aperture 120D, why it's the most versatile light. I need to talk about the Boltzmann because it's cool. I need to talk. I have so many things I keep meaning to do little reviews on, which I haven't yet. So
yeah, you just gotta pull out the phone, hit it, and go. The only thing is you got 15 seconds, but you can redo it if you don't like it.
Oh, for the story?
Yeah, you can redo. You don't have to.
I could do 15-second reviews, more or less, huh? It used to be 9 seconds or 8 seconds, wasn't it?
No, it's 15 now.
15's nice.
Yeah, 15's nice, and then you just keep doing them to kind of build up, because people click through the stories. All right, we're done.
All right, see you guys later. And 27
minutes
and a half.
And 3/4.
Could be worse.
Oh.